All right, we had non-farm payrolls come out. You got your. It is kind of frustrating. I know we talked about even yesterday on the call about carrying positions and whatever. With the combine, I understand that you can't do that to carry through it, but you know, looking at where it was, and then we had a projection of, I think we were talking about 44.50 on the Nasdaq, which we hit after the number. So
Nice little poppy pop.
yeah, it's probably going to 60, whatever. It's off the chart. 62.
Yeah.
It's pretty frustrating.
Crude broke out below its support level.
Yeah, it's testing that low yesterday. On the morning call, I had said I thought it'd be, kind of in a range from here to here. Now we just took out that, so we'll see.
We traded below it. We'll see if it pops back above.
Right.
Still bearish price action, though.
Oh, heck yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce the rest of the day. Just because that's a pretty tough pattern. It's kind of like over here where it was up and then it broke down.
Yeah.
Into that, lower low, but for it to crescendo down here, I would need a catalyst, I would assume. Pretty undervalued on the short term, which is all we care about, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
God, these non-farm payroll days, it's like rip and sit.
Yeah. The market has that tendency lately anyways.
Yeah.
It's a megaphone, now it's the sit and rip.
Mm-hmm. I was looking for one of your buys over here, but it never really materialized. I guess it would have been here, right?
No, it would have been above that candle there, but still.
It fell apart.
The trade was the ideal trade was actually when this started to sell off, because it put on a higher low and higher high, but it traded below its midpoint.
Oh, this one here, right?
Yeah. So even the current candle that's forming here, this has to close above the mid at the high of current and above the midpoint of previous, and then it would be a long above the next candle open, or next candle high, or the current candle high.
Right, so it'll need a few candles like over here. It's just a churn fest over here.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, ideally, it would have to get above. I mean, that's resistance is got 45, 46, 47 in that range. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So. Still weak.
Got like a 5-point range in the Nasdaq for the last hour. Still feels like it needs to super rally.
Yeah. Still heavy on crude. I mean, it's still.
Yeah, not yet. You'll notice how bottoms in the stock market are different than bottoms in the euro versus bottoms in the oil product. So it's definitely trying to slow down the descent, I think.
Yeah.
I was looking at the oil numbers. Where are your oil numbers? And it's definitely starting to roll over. The inventory numbers. The seasonality is pretty heavy right now.
Yeah.
Where do I have that? There it is. They changed the
They changed the what?
site. God, this Skype is slow. Ideally, I'd like to see some kind of sell-off into here to get long. You know,
Oops.
45.
Above the current high.
46.
No, it is.
I mean, the high is 45, but that's there
Yeah.
You go. I don't know. Skype doesn't work. You're fired, Skype. Now, if it takes out the low of that last candle, is it then invalidated
Yeah.
at 31? Because it did it over here. I mean, I guess there was a split, but the pattern was off.
See if we can break out those highs. Go to a 1 minute on the NASDAQ real quick. Or on the crude. There you go. Yeah, I should get some good momentum when that pushes through it.
Oh. It's gonna take its time, right?
I mean, it it's one of those things that even if it breaks 30, it's going lower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Overall trend is still down too, though.
Just cancel it or what?
Cancel it. Yep. See how when it took out 30, you just started seeing that.
Got below, huh?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Really just stuck in that range.
Everything is. I mean, look at the NASDAQ. It's like a 2-3 point range. Guess that means a breakout, right?
Some point.
So there's the crude stocks. It's finally hooking over. You could see how that's a historical build in crude oil. But gasoline, you could see, is not still above normal, but and then actually diesel is below. That's why diesel's so expensive. And the futures charts, the ping pong continues. Got this kind of range on all the different indices. I see they added the DAX and all the rest.
Yeah.
Energy kind of looks like it's a decent pullback right now. These are all daily charts.
Yeah.
Metals are flat. Pretty neutral. Is that the right?
What's that?
No, I'm just looking at the T4 is kind of frozen.
Carry trade looks like it's curling over, huh?
Yeah, let me cover that. So the S&P caught up to the yen with this rally. You can go further out. So the yen was overvalued in the S&P under, so now they've gone the other way. The S&P is above the yen. This is pretty interesting. The way crude is rolling over with the dollar not really rallying is really starting to get bearish.
Yeah.
It looks like it might trade 54 next week. If the dollar rallies at all.
Yeah, crude's in about a 10-cent range, 15-cent range for the last little bit. It's going to break out.
Is another trade setting up? No.
Not yet. And the only trade would be a short without that.
The short, right?
They're trading in the hole here.
Time to shake the tree, NASDAQ.
Yeah, this looks good. That looks good for close below that current next candle here in 3 minutes on the NASDAQ.
It's like sitting in that range.
Yeah.
If there was sellers, it should get another big push lower. But there's no buyers down here either.
Yeah.
You look at this anemic rally. We just had another buy, and it's like stuck in that 20-cent range.
Yep. See if it's going to decide the bottom here.
You think it's going to make a new low?
Yeah. I mean, look how heavy that 5-minute candle is.
Yeah, that's true.
Penetrated up into the previous candle for the full, majority of the time and failed right at the end. Still got to take out, it's really got to take out that 45 before this is going higher,
Right.
on crude.
Look at the volume. I'm looking at the volume chart on the NASDAQ.
This takes out that low. That's a short on the NASDAQ. You're about to get a long on crude here.
Well, isn't that this one closed bearish?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
for the next
kind of
candle, right?
out those sides.
Wow, that candle, 12,000 contracts traded.
What's the low of the current candle on the Nasdaq? That previous candle?
48. You mean 47.75?
No, you want it down a little bit lower because of
Right.
the lows of about 5 or 10 minutes ago too.
I don't know, 12,000 contracts were bought here, so.
Yeah.
And now we're trading like 600, 1,000 a bar.
Yeah.
Now what, crude? You've been beat up all week. You gonna do your super rally for Friday afternoon?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay, maybe not a super rally, but there's not very many sellers down here
Yeah.
that I'm seeing. Most of my systems are pretty neutral. Neutral or conflict, like long short.
Yeah.
So when you get into ranges like this, if you were the type of personality that was able to do that, the scalping idea is, you could be buying the lower end of the range and selling the higher end of the range. Actually, you want to kind of get in before it.
Yeah.
Sell it before it. But, I still think the way it's trading, it's wants to have a rally at some point later on today. So this would be a bullish candle, obviously, on crude.
Yeah. That was what we were looking for earlier.
Key is patience.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I saw when we were out with the 2-day training sessions was don't over trade and don't do random trades. Quickest way to lose is to do that. You have to have a disciplined approach when you're entering into a trade. And if you get in a trade and then you get out and then it goes your way and then you chase it and you get in, and then if you're basically letting your emotions of the price action dictate what your trade entry and exit is, and you'll get destroyed. Period. So you got to stick with your plan and keep on it. give a signal, you get in an area, you have a level, you buy it, you put your stop in. That's why stops and targets are very, very important at any stage, no matter 1 year, 1 month, or 20 years. You have to put in something that gives you a line in the sand.
Risk.
Right, define your risk.
Yeah.
Right. And ideally, you'd want those to be at least 2-to-1, if not 3-to-1. I always, swing trading was always 3-to-1 or 5-to-1. So if I'm going to make 50 cents, I'm risking 10. Or I'm sorry, if I'm making 30 cents, I'm risking 10. That was, if you're doing crude.
The other side of that coin too is that when you're in a trade and you're doing exactly what they've said, that you let it hit your full objectives. Move your stops and locks and gains, because the problem with risk to reward, if you're trading a system, like I said, one of the guys that I traded a lot, he had a 10-to-1 risk to reward trading system, but he was 47% profitable, meaning he only had 40% of his trades were winners. So he had to make a full at least 3-to-1 to even break even.
Right.
So if you get in the habit of cutting trades short and not hitting your full objectives, then that's where I throw not necessarily risk to reward, but like I look at this chart of crude right now at 58.50. If you look at that from a risk to reward standpoint, if you think it's going to retest those highs at 59.75 versus where we are now, I mean that's 10-to-1 risk to reward really.
Right.
But the likelihood of that happening is, it is crude, but slim to none.
Well, for me, the way I use technical analysis or systems is, once again, the headlights in the woods at night. So I'm looking at crude and saying the gold bands that flatten, we got below it. I'm pretty certain it's going to bounce. It did, but you could see the rate of change is so steep that it's got to work through that. It hit that and just fell apart. So for me, for this to bottom, these red bands have to start to turn up. And realistically, you got to go to the 1 minute. Even the 1 minutes aren't turning up yet. In the past, if you saw the 1 minute bands coming up like that, this thing would trade up to that 5 minute. It would trade up to the 5 minute top band if it was descending. So the bounce off this will be less strong, because actually the red, that's where the conflict comes in, where the chop comes in. You've got up, you've got down. This was up, now as it's moving, now they're both down, but down, up. So definitely choppy area. I like to see the bulls that have been hanging on for this press to new highs on it. You like to say that they got to hit the golf course because it's nice out here in Chicago, and
if it takes out that low on that NASDAQ, it's coming back.
I think the guys that are long might sell and hit the road, hit the links, and get a little washout.
Take some profits.
Or take profits. I don't know, they revised the March number way down.
GDP?
No, the unemployment.
Oh.
It was a bad number, and they even revised it lower. So the market's rallying because no rate hike. Crude is slowly creeping higher. There is that pattern too where the price action goes sideways, so it's overvalued here, and then now it's gone sideways, and now these bands are coming up underneath it. Usually gets a
little push, little
boost
scoop.
up. Where's Chris? Do you have that app hooked up or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never closed it down.
Okay. Did you hear me say that Jerry should get a prize because he's first to answer? You see, he wants an MTG shirt.
He wants a shirt.
Flat, neutral, neutral, flat. I'm not fighting a trend there on the
Snazzy.
It's Friday. Don't they need an all-time high? You need what? 10 more handles? No problem. Closing all-time high. Maybe when it gets really thin later on.
Still could be a lower high on crude here.
It's turning. It'll get to 75, 74, 72. Then that's the... Oh, 72, yeah. See what it does there. Yeah, that's about as quiet as it is gonna get.
The end of the summer doldrums already?
Maybe.
Starting to watch paint dry?
Well, it's that major move. Get the hit here, sell off, get these gold bands, turn around in the 1 minute. It's got some work to do though.
Yeah. I still like that sell on the NASDAQ.
I, I mean, it's, the way it's trading, it should have broke out over here, so they might need to shake the tree and then rally it. But look at the S&P, it's just it's just higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Crude just took out that 70.
Crude takes out the high. He takes out that other high. That's
76.
A little bit of a short squeeze there. What you gonna do, crude?
Just gotta take a break. Break time. We'll get the midpoints at 90. Takes out that 76.
No sellers have stepped in yet.
No sellers.
Not yet. Still impulsing.
Gotta take out the 76 in the futures.
There it goes.
I wish that setup happened.
Yeah.
Here goes the crude oil.
Pretty good volume spike too when it broke. A little over 4,000 contracts traded.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
The NASDAQ is doing nothing.
Literally.
Oh, there goes Super Rally, Friday afternoon. It's not even afternoon yet.
Ladder's jumping all over the place.
What is?
Ladder.
You ever see that? It prints like 5 points into the order book and then it's just sits there.
Mhm.
Like people are just buying it. That's got to be short covering because you wouldn't be buying '09s with a straight '05 offer. And then all the offers refresh and just sit there. Think it's going to get the S&P and Nasdaq to get going.
S&P's just hanging out near its highs, that's for sure.
Right.
What's the high on the Nasdaq there?
56.
Or is it 56?
And change. Oh, actually, there was a 57 and a quarter. See that how that looked in the 1 minute? Now it's extended. Get out of Dodge and crude oil.
Take your profits.
It's this type of price action that's somewhat unique to crude, where it starts to get going and then it takes a new low and then it goes and takes out that high. I mean, that's a tough trading pattern, but that seems to be pretty common.
Trade that coil at that support level.
I think it's just more of a washout.
Yeah.
Look at this other one. It's a pretty good candle on the crude oil, huh?
Yeah. S&P's about to break that. It's right at its day highs.
Is that... I'm just going to try and get a pullback. Just a tiny pullback.
I mean, it's going to break it.
How about 54?
There's your 54s.
53?
Nope.
No.
53 would be bearish.
I don't know. It's lulling me to sleep.
You're going to see all that volume step back in once it breaks, though. That sit to rip.
Come on, Janet, let's go.
There we go.
I don't know, it's a aggressive fill, so take 5. Like to see the S&P get going. Ooh, that's kind of ugly.
What's that?
That's that 1 minute coming down that hard.
I don't even know what a 1 minute is. What is that? Is that a chart?
You're so funny.
One minute is dead to me.
Hmm.
It just isn't slowing down, is it?
What's that?
It just isn't slowing down, is it?
No. Let's print one more high so we can get flat. And you laughed at me when I said super rally.
Nope.
And the CL.
Didn't laugh. No laughing here.
It's kind
We
of
know what
pushed through.
Crude's able to do.
Oh, that's right. Can't do that.
What are you breaking over there?
The limit entry, so God, I had.
Oh, did you put a stop in?
Break even.
We should take out that high now.
But it's pretty extended.
Nah. On a
Oh,
1 minute.
well, yeah, maybe we'll catch a parabolic trade, right? Let the price action do it.
Take out that previous high here. It's going to give us another little pop.
Printed a new
Euro
high.
broke out. Yeah, Euro broke out pretty good.
I think that crude move is done for now.
Yep.
And then NASDAQ. So what would you want to see in the 5-minute? Like if it closes here, that's bearish, right?
No. Still near the highs of previous. Got a higher low, higher high, trading at the highs of current above the midpoint of previous, so we're good.
I don't think there's anybody shorting up there, so
Takes out that low, though, you're going to see a pullback. I'm just going to take a wink there.
oh, I was like, that's so funny.
It
I was
failed to break it.
I was going to do the same thing, but you beat me to it.
You don't like that crude short at below the lows there?
The crude short, where was that?
Below 13. Crude's going to pull back here.
Well, yeah, it's way extended.
Yeah.
Way extended. Ow. Was that right? Wait, this was 14, so should have been 13.
Yeah.
And there goes the NASDAQ. I like to see this do a little mean reversion, you know? On oil.
Like to see what do mean reversion?
Oil.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, geez.
Stop.
Should be above the previous candle high, but that's too far away.
Got to take 20.
Get the seller step back in here.
33.
Not yet. Not bearish yet, is it?
No, sir. It's a tough spot. All right, we'll see you guys in the wrap-up call.
All right, sounds good.
Yep. Thanks.